All right. Let's do a sound check here. Everyone hear me okay? All two of you? Well, there's five apparently. Let me know. Let me know. Oh, Jess F. Who is that? Hello. Thank you for the party cracker. Courtney. Hello. Everyone hear me all right? We're doing, making sure the audio is good. Last time it was awful, so it's always something. Oh, audio is good so far, says Vanessa N. All right, we are ready to go. Hello, everybody. We are here. Last week we were off because there wasn't anything. There actually was nothing. We did the iReader. We did we did everything. Yeah, there was nothing to show. There was actually nothing to show. This time, there's still really nothing to show except one actual unit, and I was very surprised. Hello there, Jess. I was very surprised that you guys didn't choose the Q&A. I thought the Q&A would have won it this time, but yeah, YouTube this morning, our guys were like, yeah, the iReader's the winner. I'm like, all right, well, here it is. iReader, Oasis 2. What? Ocean. Jeez, Oasis. I saw the shape and I said Oasis. It's the Ocean 2. This is the latest release from iReader, and it is this thin. There, I'll get it out of my way here. Look how thin that is. It's pretty thin. It's a very much Oasis clone in that it simulates the same overall, um, the dimensions and the way that it's kind of laid out. But it's Oasis 2 clone, I should say. But it's pretty nice. Now, downside, and why we're only doing a 30-minute session today is because it unfortunately doesn't have English, and that just really holds it back. That's not to say they can't, and they won't. Recently, Xiaomi, not Hisense, Hanvon, and Bigme, along with their subsidiary Goyu, have all put English on their devices. Especially Bigme has put a lot of English as a selectable language, and Xiaomi as well. So, it is not out of the realm of possibilities that they will not do, that it's not out of the possibilities that they will do English. There you go. Yeah, they could do English. They very well could. And we already know it's capable of it because it's running Android. And if you go to the backend developer section, you'll see that it is fully in English when it comes to the developer stuff. So like the Wi-Fi, the touch, the EPD, which is the electronic paper display, you can calibrate it from here. You can check the light if you like. And it's all in English. All this is completely language agnostic. It's just there because that's the true back-end language. They've only restricted English. Natively, this should be able to run it. It's just there's no way to choose it because there's no language option. So that's the downside, is that there's no actual way to select any languages because they don't have a UI element, a user interface element to allow you to do so. So, until you guys ask questions about this, we're just going to talk about it nonstop. This does have audio. This does have 32 gigs, but this unit actually comes in a 128 gig model, which is massive. That's freaking massive. Tom Doe, did anyone win the Sony Reader? No, Tom, the Sony Reader contest, if I check YouTube right now, that's not over for quite some time. Sony, or maybe... No, it's not. No, June 3rd. So we have quite a bit of time left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 days left for you guys to win the Sony contest. And unfortunately, your odds are pretty low now. I mean, we're getting quite a bit of entries. I don't have the exact numbers because YouTube does all that in the back end. But yeah, it's definitely, as time goes on, the contest entries increase and, your odds decrease. So, to gather all of you guys here and get your attention, let's just look at some e-reading and see how it does it. Now, again, it's Chinese UI, but anything you put in here is going to be the respective language. So, as you can see, we have a Charles Dickens book here. We're just going to go ahead and click on something, I don't know, Stave 5. So, you can use this in one hand, and I think it actually could go like this. No, you have to tell it to do it. You can. You just have to tell it in the settings that it's going to be auto-rotate, but it definitely can. Neno said, hello, it looks good and fast. Yeah, it's really fast, actually. It's a very, very fast e-reader. It has a lot of storage. It's built extremely well. It has onboard audio. The only thing they actually got rid of is the little pins at the back. Earlier models had the little copper contact pins for peripherals, so they put like cases and batteries and extension things, accessories, but they don't have that anymore. I don't know why they got rid of it. So you can long press, but it's going to be all in Chinese again, so you're going to have to sideload things in. It is running Android 10, so you can do that. It's not a problem. You do have audio as well. Audio doesn't sound that great either, though, because it's all in Chinese. Oh, we're offline. And actually, sometimes, and not to be rude or anything, but it's true, sometimes they have a Chinese person trying to speak English, which doesn't sound good. It would be like me trying to say things in Chinese. It wouldn't sound good. So, like, yeah, it would be nice that they had a little bit more attention to the fact that they should put someone that speaks English for English content and Portuguese for Portuguese content, etc., to give you the truest experience. But unfortunately, they don't do that. They have this kind of robotic Chinese voice, and we'll do this in the full review. And the review is not going to be that extensive because we understand this doesn't have English. It is rather locked down. You can use it. It's not like an iFlyTech where you need a Chinese phone number, you need a verification code sent to your cell phone. Nothing like that. You could just pick this up and go, sideload in things, sideload in what do you call PDFs and books and magazines and whatever you want. Yes, Nano, it is very good with one-hand control, and it's very fast. This is a big PDF, and we've used this PDF on a lot of devices, and this is very, very quick. There's nothing slow about that. And you can see how it flipped around a little bit. It's rather light, which is kind of nice. It's kind of nice. It's a good change of pace. Sometimes heavy devices are nice. Kind of feels like your money's going somewhere. But, you know, at some points, at the other point, light devices are kind of nice. You know, it feels very futuristic. Heavier devices just feel kind of dated. It's a matter of perspective. It just depends on kind of what you want, you know. Pinch and zoom's really quick as well. I mean, there's really just very few negatives. Aside from the Chinese UI, you get that out of the way. You look at what the device is, the specs on the table, the real-world function. It's really good. There's really not a whole lot holding this back. We can go look at some pictures too. We put in some manga snaps, and you can see that it's really quick. It's really good. There's nothing really wrong with this unit. iReader is a very, very large company. Very large company. They make accessories for other companies like Remarkable. They white label their devices out to FaceNote and other companies around the world. I mean, they're not small. They have their own bookstores that Hisense uses. If you get a Hisense and go on it, the bookstore is the iReader bookstore. These guys aren't small. Do they have a small international appearance? Yes, they do, because they don't have any international presence outside of us. We are the only guys that push their products. They're not paying us to do that. They're not sponsoring us. We're not paid by them in any way. There's nothing like that. We have a distribution agreement with them, which means our store sells their products and we get review samples. But we don't say their stuff is the best because they're paying us and they say, oh, you have to say that. No, not at all. Their units are genuinely good. They're very good. They have many note-taking devices. They have many stylus pens in their lineup. It's some great stuff. It really is. And we're working really hard to get them to put English on here because it just opens everything up. It's stifling to have it not even in Chinese, in any language. The early Storytel was only in Swedish. So we're like, oh my gosh, how do we even work this? Or early Bokines, the Diva and stuff like that, earlier than that, they were all in French. And if you don't speak, and it's great for people, oh, I speak French. Good. We don't. No one else does. My mom does, but no one else does. So it's like, that's not how it works, you know, like a lot of people in the world, and this needs to be out there. This definitely needs to be out there. They have so many units. They have a Smart 3 coming out. I think it already came out. These guys are one of the first guys to do color. They were the first to do color in the modern age. 2019? Yeah, 2019. They did the iReader C6. Yeah. Anyways, what else do you guys want to see on this? Or if you have any other questions or anything else you would like to ask. Otherwise, we'll just keep exploring it. You have the top drop down here where you can choose the glow light, you can choose the warm light, and you can choose your audio level. You also have, you see, again, like it looks a little different than the last gen. So I'm going to have to go to Google Lens because I can't read it. I can read some of it because it overlaps with stuff in Japanese, but yeah, they should have. I don't think they have a This one. No, that's global refresh. That'll refresh everything. And that's power saving mode, so that'll change the battery. And it doesn't say that they have a speed mode. No, I don't think they have a speed mode. They have different light modes, so you can go daytime, night, and quilt. Okay, and then other is custom, or you just turn the light off altogether. So that's really cool. I think that says back because the other one says let's do it. So you do have music as well, and music's not in there, but that's fine. We'll do all this in the full review, of course. But yeah, needless to say, they're really killing it in mainland China. At least they're just not killing it very hard in the rest of the world. And this has all the ingredients to be good. It has a file manager as well. So if you get a little bit locked into like, oh, I'm on my library, what do? You just go down to the file manager here, and then you have music, you have your books, you have your documents, you have your ebooks, your PDFs. Everything can be here. You have WeChat integration, so anyone can have a WeChat account. We have a WeChat account, of course. But yeah, a lot of good stuff. It really does have a lot of potential, and we very much wish that these guys just went. It's really easy. It's so easy to put English on it. You know what it is? It's changing one setting. As a developer, not us, I mean as a developer that I know of, as a developer, it would be very easy to put English on it. It's Android. It really is. We talked to Big Me, and we're like, put English on it. They're like, okay. Then there was English. I mean, that was the extent of the conversation. It really was. I'm not joking. Oh, there goes my mom with some French. Okay, here we go. Ce sera pratiquer si vous pouviez choisir votre langue. Okay, so like your language, choose your language. Oh, okay, so like it would be practical to be able to choose your language, right? Is that right? I got it right? I don't know. I took French for like everyone in Canada. We don't all speak French, but in school you have to take French. I think that says it would be practical, pratique, if you would be able to choose your language. I think. Everyone takes French, man. I remember taking French from, like grade 4 or something. They made you do like red, rouge, black, noir, and you just you learn it for years, man. Grade 4 all the way to end of high school, and like I can't put a sentence together to save my life. English is very close to French in the way they write things, so you can pretty much, langue is language because it comes from French and Latin and all that stuff. But anyways, yeah, it would be good to choose votre langue. Yeah, if you could choose your language, that would be very nice. And Android, it's not a hard thing to do. It is harder to do on things that are a little bit more locked down, like Linux and these guys that have their own proprietary operating systems. But Android, it's so easy. They can just flip a switch and it would all be good. So far, we are in communication with them for many years now, and there's no English right now. So that's just the biggest thing. That's the only thing, in fact, holding this back. You know what? To be completely honest, Google Play is great, but people don't live and die by it. They live and die by the language selection. We can attest to that. We have a store, e-commerce store that we've ran for years. Yes, we are live, Alberto. Yeah, we have a store that we've ran for a decade, and things that don't have language options don't sell. For example, what do we not sell? I don't really do the store anymore, but I remember the Xiaomi or whatever. They weren't selling at all, and then they pushed English onto the Mix 7, and then they started selling. I heard it like a water cooler talk. Everyone's like, hey, the Xiaomi's selling well, right? And I'm just like, It's not as stereotypical as that, but it does happen. The water cooler talk. There's no water cooler. Yeah, so it really would, if they put English on this, it changes absolutely everything overnight, instantly. It really does. It goes from selling nothing to selling everything. Sony did that. Sony even did that. They had, not with the Sony Reader line. The Sony Reader line has always been multiple languages. The Sony DPT, when it was released, was only in Japanese. And then they added English later. And Fujitsu did that for the very beginning of their run. They only had Japanese, and then they added English. And, oh, man, Fujitsu's been one of our best contracts we've landed. Probably total. That's our biggest name we've worked with, yeah. That and Sony, it's freaking huge. It was really good. Alberto, how life in Japan? Yeah, it's good. It's clean and safe, and convenience stores are great. So, yeah. Oh, I got it right. Sweet. Okay, I did get that French right. Yeah. So you got it back in your head. If you unlock it, if you learn a language early on and then you learn it like later, it's better to learn it early because then you learn it. But if you don't use it, you lose. If you don't use it, you lose it. But also, if you start to use it again in the future, you don't lose it really because it just comes back. But anyways, Alberto, is that 128 gigs of storage? Is it flushed? Uh, I don't actually know the terminology, which you mean, is it flushed? You mean like, is there some stuff that there's like bloatware on there that's minimizing the overall storage? Because if so, there would be. For example, this one actually isn't the 128 gig version. They have one though. This one is not. This one's 32, but you only get 27. Um, and I'll show you something right now on my screen share because and it's I'll just I'll swipe by all the stuff that they sent me, but this is a WeChat conversation between ourselves and iReader. So there's the Ocean 2, and this is the Chinese renminbi or yuan price, and they have 32 gig different color, white, and then the 128 gig model. So they do have a buck 28 version on there, and it's really nice. It has a lot of storage because none of these have expandable memory anymore. No one has expandable memory anymore. Who has an SD? Wasn't there someone that had an SD recently? There's someone that had an SD. The Carve. Big Me never stops, man. They have a body called the Carve. They have the Carve and the Carve Color. They have an SD card slot, which is really, really rare. Very rare. The A7CC has a SIM card slot. I can't remember if it's a dual SIM or dual hybrid, which means you can put an SD card in there. And I think the Boyu P6, and Boyu's defunct now. So yeah, no one has an SD. I'm not saying these guys do, but it's nice to have a massive storage option, especially for a device that isn't just an ebook reader. This is an ebook reader, but it is so much more. You can put things into the root memory. You can put music files, and you can go online. You can download things. You actually can. You can put in gigantic 300 MB APKs on here if you want. So there's definitely a need for a larger storage. Alberto Gutier says, is there glass over the screen? Yes, but they have a baked on factory screen protector, which most people have nowadays. Sorry, there's fingerprints because I'm handling it. That is completely matte. So even if you shine an intense light at it, you can kind of read through it. So, and this is industry standard now. Everyone says, factory matte screen protector. Even like Barnes & Noble with the new Nook Glowlight 4E, the entry level. One of their selling points, I think there's like 4 major points they're selling, is a factory matte screen protector. So it used to be that some of these companies would just release the raw screen or with a couple stacks in front of it, a couple things protecting it. But now, a lot of manufacturers have taken to putting actual matte screen protectors on the unit from the factory so that you don't have to buy one and put it on. Because yeah, it's nice for them to upsell you on screen protectors, but if you notice, companies don't really sell screen protectors a lot. For example, Amazon doesn't even sell a screen protector for the Kindle. There's no official one. You have to buy third party from Gorilla Glass or I look around my office here, see if I see any brands. I don't know screen protector brands, but you know what I mean, like Glass Fit. And you have to buy them and put them on yourself. And unless you're one of those guys working at a cell phone shop that knows all the tricks, that puts a little piece of tape over their finger to get the dust particles off, nobody can put a screen protector on properly. And if you have, you got lucky. Glass ones are easy to put on. Glass screen protectors are very easy to put on because they just like, see, catch my phone in there. There we go. They're really easy to put on because like you clean the screen once, you put it on, the bubbles just go away because it's glass. It's very hard, right? But then you have a one of those plastic films. Oh man, there's always like little dust particles. And you finally finish, you're like, oh, it's good. Damn it! And there's one little piece of dust in the middle, and you can't smooth it out. You can smooth out bubbles, but not when there's an actual piece of dust because then it sits on top. It's just a thing. Alberto, deal breaker for me. Wait, what's the deal breaker? The glass on the screen? You want a glass screen? Okay. I'm confused by that. Please elaborate because yeah, no, we don't have a glass screen. Excuse me, one moment. Sorry about that. There was a weird kind of noise over there. Yeah. I assume you would want a factory matte screen protector because uh, it makes it useful because there's some manufacturers that actually make, you know, who's really silly in all this, to be completely honest. Dasung. Dasung's a great manufacturer. They're a high quality manufacturer. They build really good things. The Not Reader is one of the most capable e-paper products in the entire world. They have a glass screen as their main screen. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you have an e-reader with a glass screen on it? It really doesn't make sense. Hisense is very notorious for that as well. They have glass screens, but they put a matte screen protector over it in the box for you. You can easily just take it off, but you shouldn't because it defeats the purpose of having an e-reader. Burbor, when do we expect refresh rates to go up for e-ink in general? Gallery's been doing some good things with refresh rates, but yeah, it's still not 100%. E-ink will never be 100%, and if you say it will, you're probably mistaken because it won't be. It's little particles of ink flipping around and moving up and down. It's not as easy to just say, oh, it should be like my cell phone. Well, it can't be because then every single thing in the world there would be no LCD LED anymore if e-ink was exactly the same as an LCD tablet or a screen or computer screen. The industry would collapse because e-ink would be the solution, but it's not that way. Alberto says, I don't like glass over the screen. Yeah, but again, you don't know it's there because if you look at this, it's seamless right to the seam. Like there's not even a 0.5 millimeter gap between the screen and the screen protector. See my fingers? It's seamless. You cannot. It's not a glass screen. You know what I mean? You won't look at it and be like, oh, it's glass, it's garbage. Like that's not the case because you only know what they show you. And remember, an e-ink screen itself has about 6 layers on top of it before your eyes meet it. There's a lot of things. There's the glow light layer. In fact, people think it's lights shining on the screen. It's not. How a glow light layer works is there's a film that goes on top that has lights built in. It's like this. They have lights built in, and this is attached with a little flex cable that attaches to the PCB, the printed circuit board, and it shines the light into the gel and it illuminates. That glow light layer is actually quite thick. It's a very thick glow light layer. So in fact, there are a lot of layers between the actual e-paper screen. In fact, the e-paper screen itself, the EPD, has a factory layer of protectant over it on top so that it doesn't scratch. That's how it actually works. Can it open outside PDF file? You mean like a side-loaded PDF file? Because yeah, we showed that. For sure it can. So you just go over here to your device storage, you go over to your PDFs, and you click on a PDF, and it instantly opens it up. So yeah, you definitely can do a you can open PDFs, no problem whatsoever. Hattori Hanzo says, yo, what's up, fellow e-readers? What's up? Burbor, shouldn't it be as fast as magnetic drawing boards? It is. Yeah, when you draw on an e-paper product, there's virtually no difference. There's no difference in your stroke than on a stroke on real paper. It's identical. In fact, you would be hard pressed to say, no, that's 1/100th of a millisecond slower. So what? Does your brain work that fast that you're bothered by, you know, a 1,000th of a fraction of speed differential? Like, no, you're good. So no, note-taking latency is different than e-ink refresh. It plays into it, but it's different. Note-taking latency is when you grab a pen and you draw on the screen, it's going to be perfect. Any modern tablet will be perfect. There's some slower ones that will be a little bit slower. They'll have like a little drag behind, take time to catch up. But no, it's just completely fine. E-ink refresh, what you're referring to, is when you actually click the screen and everything goes away and everything creates itself again. That needs to speed up, I get it, but it can't right now. Because when you push that button, it's astronomically amazing how fast that's actually doing it. Just in and of itself, this is space age technology. There's a little layer, and they're these little balls. I'll go like that. Here, a little layer, and these little white and black balls respectively go either up or down in little pixel cells and create an image, a high resolution HD high density image. I mean, that's insane when you think of it, and it's actually little balls of ink. So it's quite amazing to think that, but unfortunately, no, it will never be as fast as an LCD. It's getting damn close, but it won't be. Looks like an Oasis copy. Yes, it does, Danny. This is the second generation of the Ocean. Lots of people have already copied the Oasis. The Mix 7 has copied them. The iReader has on many occasions. Xiaomi has copied. Yeah, it's a benchmark. And you know what? So what? I mean, it's a great model, and Amazon hasn't done anything to the Oasis in 5 years. It's accurate. Oasis 1, 2016. Oasis 2, 2017. Oasis 3, which is just the Oasis 2, is from 2019, but they didn't do anything. It's just a coat of paint and a warm light. The Oasis 2 came out in 2017, guys. That's 5.5 years. I'm glad people are copying them, because Amazon ain't doing anything. They're actually not. They're not doing anything with it. Nuno said, "Oh, you already did it? Thank you." Yes. Hattori Hansel said, "Hey, man." Oh, wait, to who? Oh, to your Twitter buddy. Nice. Okay, sweet. And Hal Callie said, "I'm really interested in 7-inch devices. They're perfect size for manga." IMHO. Yep. You are right. Show you some manga. We're almost wrapped up here, because it's, yeah, not to be mean, but it's an iReader. I mean, iReader's big. We love them. They're great. But in the world of how we utilize these devices, and the fact there's no English, the fact that there's, a bookstore is kind of locked down, we're not going to spend an hour and a half on this. We might spend an hour on the Air 2 Plus that just came out. Oh, but not on this, no. So what am I doing? Oh yeah, manga. So I didn't put any manga on here, but I put some images to show off images. So when we test, we put, a PDF, a book, a PNG file, stuff like that. So you can go to the File Explorer, which I only know because I've used Google Translate. And then you go to Pictures, and then you go to a picture. And yeah, this is a perfect size for manga. It really is. Like, look at it up against your hand. This is great. This is so nice, man. You can just chill and be like, oh, look at that. I wonder if Luffy's going to get out of this one. Yeah, really nice. Very, very good for manga. Highly recommended. Yeah, again, if you're just putting your own content on here, sky's the limit. Put whatever you want on here. Alberto Gutierrez. I assume most people read Wikipedia article on e-ink. I already made the mistake to buy the Kindle Paperwhite 5, so now I want plastic screens like Remarkable. Yeah, Alberto, there's if you want plastic screens, you're out of luck. There's nobody uses plastic anymore. Even when you think people use plastic, they're not plastic. There's only a handful that use plastic now. I have one in my head that I'm going to say, this is going to make me laugh. And you'll know because I'll laugh at it. There's the Mimas, they use plastic. There's the Remarkable 1, not the Remarkable 2, just the 1, and the Y-Ben. the Y-Ben. It's not even, there's not even a maker. It's just the Y-Ben, which embarrassingly enough has been selling actually recently. I don't know why. Yeah, the Y-Ben has a plastic screen. There's no advantage to plastic screen anymore. There isn't. Nobody uses them. Nobody wants them. Nobody's doing anything with them. Even when you think you have plastic, yeah, like I think, you know what? Supernote, they're basically dead, but Supernote uses plastic on the A6X. One of them, doesn't matter. But they put a gel screen protector on top, and you can't take the gel screen protector off. So what's underneath doesn't matter then. These guys have a baked-on factory matte screen protector. I could put a translucent piece of wood underneath, soaked in epoxy, and it wouldn't matter because the top layer, the part you interact with as a human being with your pen or your finger or your eyes, is the matte factory screen protector. So it doesn't matter that there's plastic anymore because it's irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. Yes, that's my opinion. That's a 13 years in the industry opinion and working with 35 manufacturers, and it's absolutely true. No one uses plastic anymore, and no one likes plastic anymore. That's why no one uses it, because they don't like it. Even if there is plastic, There's screen protectors on top. Sometimes there's plastic screens with glass screen protectors on top with a plastic matte screen protector on top again. It's really weird. So yeah, it's a very it's they've abandoned plastic. And in fact, we did a video, I think, on the top 5 devices that are non-glass, and you can check it out. Duogo, what's your favorite manga / anime? I don't watch anime or read manga anymore. I don't have time for that. Aaron Espinoza Castro, can you show original black and white pages of a manga in this review, please? Yeah. Oh, in the actual review, yeah, we will. Absolutely, we will. We're gonna get into full review on this. For now, that's it. We're all wrapped up. This is a very it's not a bare bones device by any means. It's quite fully loaded, in fact, and has higher storage than. You know what? I think this has the highest storage of any e-reader ever. Not e-notes, because you could be like a 128 carved color with a with an SD, but I think this 128 that must be the highest. I don't think there's anyone with 256. I know that like the P6 it's like 64 or something, but you could put a 256 card or even a 512 or something. But SD cards aside, I think this is the highest storage of any e-reader. So it's pretty cool. Hally Cali, DS uses plastic. Yes, they do. Hattori Hanzo, why don't folks use plastic anymore? Isn't it lighter? It's not durable. It's not sturdy. It's a thing of the past. I mean, the last device that used plastic, like we said, was the 2018 Mimas and the Remarkable One. That's it. And no one uses it anymore. I think e-reader wise, no one uses it. The last man standing in the industry that uses plastic is Quaderno. That's it. They use a plastic screen. It's the best note-taking experience on the market, hands down. I'll stand by that. It is. And yep, no one else uses plastic. They don't do it. And you don't take my word for it. Look at every single manufacturer out there. They won't do it. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Sorry, the Q&A lost and the what do you call the iReader one. We want to have value in this. We really do. We want to show value in this, and there is a lot here. It just needs to crack that barrier of being bound by one language. One language, they don't even give you traditional Chinese and simplified Chinese, which a lot of manufacturers do. They just give you, that's it. It's like, what if you have trouble reading complex Chinese characters? Because there's a lot. See you guys next time. Thank you so much. You guys are fantastic. Hello to everybody, and goodbye to everybody.